had become. I was then able to appreciate the story of Enyadutta, who had gone mad believing she had lost her head, and the great to-do she made when she discovered it, though of course she had never been without it. But I am once more myself, so there is no need to worry about me. I have always had feelings of anxiety arising on the one hand from the fear that my aspiration toward Buddhahood might weaken because of my insignificance and powerlessness, and on the other by the fear that if I should die without actually experiencing the truth of the Dharma I might not again be able to realize it for many lifetimes. Yes, it must be terribly painful for one having absolute faith in the Dharma to die without experiencing it. Only by feeling that way can one practice as devotedly as you have. But now that I have penetrated deeply and have acquired an unshakable aspiration to Buddhahood, it is clear to me that I can continue my spiritual discipline forever and in this way perfect my personality to its fullest. Impelled by the vow, which rises naturally within me, to save all sentient beings, I am overcome by tears. I know of no words to express my joy and gratitude. Far from neglecting Zazen, I have every intention of strengthening even further my powers of concentration. Yes, yes, you really do understand. I am profoundly aware of the need for diligent self-cultivation and thoroughly understand the value of THIийн. I swear never again to write anything so pretentious as I did yesterday, saying that I had become fully enlightened and therefore could instruct others in THIijn. You have truly awakened. Please forgive me. I was so beside myself that I simply lost all sense of proportion. After more sober reflection I see that this was rather comical, yet what a precious memory to have tasted such dazzling joy even briefly. Buddhas and Dharma ancestors have all experienced this great joy at least once. I am choked with tears of gratitude, for I can now truly understand good and evil, and can proceed steadily and without delusion to carry on my spiritual practices in and through my everyday life. From the bottom of my heart I thank you. Do watch your health. I so look forward to your next visit. YAEKO. General comment. At this stage one acquires what is termed the wisdom of subtle and immaculate perception or subsequently attained wisdom. Her degree can be gauged according to the 5 degrees established by the Patriarch Tozan. The depth of perception revealed in her second letter corresponds to the 3rd degree, Shakurai, where awareness of the One is paramount and consciousness of differentiation has subsided. And that of this letter to the 4th degree, Henshushi, wherein one lives in all things with no self-conscious trace of enlightenment. Now it is possible to perform the benevolent and virtuous acts attributed to THIijn or canon. In Zen this is the fulfillment of the vow of a bodhisattva. This is living in the Pure Land. Though it takes from 5 to 10 years after Kensho for most practicers to come to this stage, she has reached it in less than a week. It is doubtless due to her deep and pure faith in Buddhism, to her vast and boundless vow, made through countless lives and embracing all sentient beings, and to her having listened with a believing heart to every word of authentic Buddhism spoken to her. Her accomplishment is rare in modern times. The remarkable story of her determination and zeal ought to be engraved in 6-foot letters as an immortal inspiration for all Zen followers. 4. Evidence of direct experience of the Great Way of Buddhism. December 26. Dear HARADA-ROSHI, forgive me for writing you so often. I have attained the level of realization which is the last possible while yet a disciple. Indeed you have. I used to think, how grand must one become upon enlightenment? And how admirable are they who devote themselves so fully to Buddhist activities that they no longer think of themselves. But I was so mistaken. From now on I will cultivate more virtue and never cease my practice. Before enlightenment I was so anxious for it and often thought, how noble is one who returns home with peace and contentment. But having come to full enlightenment, your experience points up the difference between Buji 11 Zen and authentic Zen. I now say to myself, why were you so excited about it? For I have a distinct aversion to being called enlightened. I am delighted to hear you say this. Yet it is only with full enlightenment that it is possible to put your Zen into practice in daily life. I have utterly forgotten the moment of my enlightenment and what happened immediately after, yet I can say I have acquired the true eye of enlightenment, so to speak. It tickles me to say to myself, so this is full enlightenment. I can't tell you how thankful I am to be forever one with the true Dharma, utterly and naturally. At the same time I feel so foolish for having been carried away by my delirious joy. This should make you smile. My delusions about everything have positively vanished. But let us not speak to anyone else of this, as the Dharma must be respected. Point 14. If I am careful how I speak to others about your experience, it may help, not harm, them, so don't be concerned. I simply can't understand why I always made such a to-do about respecting Buddhism 15 or anyone who had attained full enlightenment. Have I been dreaming? YAEKO. General comment. Dreaming? Certainly. Yet as dreams go in this world, it is not the commonplace dream of most but a dream of tremendous and lasting significance, of intense absorption in the Buddha's Dharma. This stage can be equated with the fifth or most advanced degree, called Kenhyudo. A condition of absolute naturalness 16 where the mutual interpenetration of the world of discrimination and the world of equality is so thorough that one is consciously aware of neither. I marvel that she has reached this point so quickly. That she could have done so can be attributed only to her intense faith in the Buddha's teachings and to her strong bodhisattvic spirit. One who has attained to this degree has completed what Zen practice can be carried out under a teacher and embarked upon the path of true self-practice. Are there even a handful today who understand all this? Katsu. 5. Evidence of attaining the non-regressing mind of THIυπάρχN. December 27. Dear HARADA-ROSHI, thanks to you, I have clearly perceived that Buddha is none other than mind. Point 17. My gratitude knows no bounds. This is as much due to your benevolent guidance as to my intense longing and striving for Buddhahood that I may save all living beings. I had not thought of you as one with such an unusually strong aspiration toward Buddhahood. How undiscerning of me! It is evident you are the incarnation of a great bodhisattva. How can I ever thank you enough? Now I see that, in terms of the Dharma, I must respect myself. Point 18. Please point out to me what I still need to do. How thankful I am to have been able to purge myself of every iota of delusive thinking and feeling. You have not yet entirely rooted out your delusive feelings. 19. But one who has perceived as profoundly as you have is nevertheless able to live a pure life. But in spite of this, I wish to be guided by you in all respects lest I mislead others in their practice or understanding of Buddhism. My mind state is quite different now from what it was at the time of Kensho. Kensho is the stage of merely seeing the ox. Indeed, the farther I advance on the Supreme Way, the more exalted it becomes. Now that I have experienced that Tada 20 is itself perfection, I can at last repay your countless benefactions, and I am overjoyed. Having reached a deep and critical stage, I do need to see you soon. I wish I could fly to you to advise you further. But since this is the end of the year 21, I am extremely busy with the affairs of the monastery and therefore unable to leave at present. Forgive me for making this request by letter, but my illness prevents me from coming to see you. You must be extremely happy that I have truly graduated. Never did I dream that in my lifetime would I witness the transmission of Buddhism from a Buddha incarnate to the Bodhisattva Miroku. Point 22. I promise myself over and over to act with the utmost care in every detail of my life. I pray that you stay well. YAEKO. General comment. The essence of living Buddhism can be summed up in the word Tada. Who is Shakyamuni Buddha? Who is Miroku? They are no different from you. Look. Look. She has reached this stage of Tada. It is natural therefore that she should feel this deep joy as well as heavy responsibility as respects the profound Dharma. The actions flowing from such a mind are those of THIυπάρχN or Miroku incarnate. 6. Evidence of the joy and peace of being at one with the Dharma. December 27. Dear HARADA-ROSHI, rejoice with me. At last I have discerned my face before my parents were born with a clarity that penetrates from heaven to the very bottom of the earth. And yet I have never regarded myself as a desperate seeker. You and I have cherished a profound illusion. That it is exalting to vow to rescue all deluded creatures no matter how many eons it takes. But one so deluded is called a bodhisattva. To realize there is no one to save is real saving. Oh, how funny! Nonetheless, my respect for you as a Roshi knows no bounds. Indeed, no one but you can understand the import of my enlightenment. I feel it would be unwise for you to tell others that I, who have no dignity or stature, have become fully enlightened, as it may cause them to think lightly of Buddhism. 23. That may be true from one point of view. On the other hand, many will be inspired to a greater effort, so there is no need to be concerned. Only the exceptional few would not doubt my experience. What an immense relief to discover that just as I am I lack nothing. What a joy knowing you and I will be together everlastingly. Buddhism is useless for those free of delusion. I chuckle knowing I have always been fundamentally a Buddha. I haven't the slightest doubt of this. Yet I can tell it only to those whose enlightenment is equal to mine. To people of lesser realization I will have to preach differently. With a heart full of gratitude I raise my hands to you palm to palm. How supremely exalted is the true law, how consistently reasonable from first to last. I feel this so keenly. With a peaceful heart I look forward to the new year. Do take care of yourself. YAEKO. P.S. I can now appreciate how dangerously one-sided a weak Kensho can be. 24. You are right. The enlightenment of most Zen teachers these days is of this kind, but a one-sided realization remains a one-sided realization regardless of how many koans one has passed. What these people fail to realize is that their enlightenment is capable of endless enlargement. General comment. To live one's life as Tada is to walk the supremely glorious path trodden by all Buddhas. When one no longer is aware of the need for Buddhism, true Buddhism is manifesting itself. Should one, however, cherish even this conception, one's life will become clouded with delusion. Devotedly wipe away the haze of such attachment and your life will be perpetually suffused with the warm sunshine of spring. 7. Further evidence of the joy and peace of being at one with the Dharma. December 27. Dear HARADA-ROSHI, do let me write you often. At last I have recovered my composure. With the realization that Buddha is myself. I am Buddha. I am I. I am selfless I. I have come to understand clearly the single-minded love and respect I feel toward you. 25. Already I have rid myself of the smell of enlightenment. Not quite. You are even now emitting its awful smell. And my gratitude to you and the Dharma is all the deeper. I feel grateful in my own mind for the realization that clinging either to the deluded or the enlightened state gives rise, in spite of oneself, to an increasingly ardent longing to pursue the Dharma with greater intensity, so as to attain supreme peace of mind. One who never tires of performing virtuous deeds is called a Buddha. Attachment to the Dharma, however, is not a virtue, nor is this attachment easy to dissolve. Delusion and enlightenment are equally offensive. You can appreciate how enormously satisfying it is for me to discover at last, through full realization, that just as I am I lack nothing. I know how you feel. Even the honored Shakyamuni clung to the delicious taste of his enlightenment for a period of 3 weeks. Unless